Welcome everyone to the City of Springfield License Commission meeting. Open the meeting at 5:32 p.m. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Did anybody receive a packet? I didn't receive a packet, so we don't have the minutes. So we're just going to continue the approval of the minutes for the February 14 meeting for our next meeting.
Okay, you guys didn't receive your packets?
No.
No,
The agenda or anything for tonight's meeting?
just the agenda.
I got the agenda, yeah.
The
We
report-
received an agenda on Monday, I believe, Monday or Tuesday.
Okay, did you get the reports?
No.
No,
No,
Oh, I wish someone would have reached out to let me know that.
I did reach out to Edna earlier today, but I didn't hear from her.
Yeah, no, she's out sick and
Oh,
has
okay,
been.
that
Yeah.
explains that.
Okay,
Okay, it's not a problem. So I like I said, I make a motion to continue the approval of the minutes for the Springfield Board of License Commission hearing held on Wednesday, February 14th to our next meeting.
second,
Okay, Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Okay, next item is a petition for change of manager from Majid Nizam Dini to Mohed Ahmad and change of hours of operations for Sunday only from 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. to 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. for GEO 195 Pine Street, LLC DBA Summit Package Store located at 195 Pine Street, Majid Nasim Din, current manager of record. So, Attorney Days, I see that petition number 1 and number 2, it's similar.
Yes. Yep, that's correct. I'm here on behalf of both entities, and yep, that's correct. They are related.
Okay, so you have the floor, sir.
Okay, so the first application is a change of manager, like you said, from Mahid Nizam Din to Mohit Ahmad. And this is for the Summit Package Store location at 195 Pine Street. Mohit, the new proposed manager of record, has been working at the store for multiple years. He's been working there since July of 2021. He understands, being a manager of record is a huge responsibility. It's a privilege, not a right. And accordingly, I've explained to him how you are responsible as manager of record, responsible for everything that occurs at the premises. And as a result, it's important that you're there, anywhere from 40 to 50 hours a week at least. I have provided him with a copy of the City of Springfield's local rules and regulations. And we've, discussed relative to off-premise licenses. He is tip certified and trained and will ensure that everyone else on the premises is tip certified and trained. In regards to the change of hours application for this location, we simply just desire to, I believe that just to raise the hours of operation on Sundays from noon to 10 a.m., which I believe is the earliest time permitted by local regulations. So that's kind of where we're at with this location. If you'd like me to also discuss our second petition now, or if you'd like to work on this one first.
Let's work on this one first. So you're looking to change the hours only Sunday from noon time to 11?
To 10 a.m.
So from 10 a.m. So to change it from what is currently 12 p.m. to 10 a.m.
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Mahid, so I understand you are tip certified.
Yes, correct.
Okay, where do you live, sir?
East Long Meadow.
East Long Meadow, and your attorney said that you plan on being in the store between 40 to 50 hours a week?
Yes.
Okay, what would happen when you are not there?
Do you mean as like if we have another worker there or?
Correct.
Yeah, so yeah, so we would have someone else who's also tip certified there, trained under my wing to handle anything if I wasn't present.
How many employees, will you be having?
I think 1 to 2.
1 to 2, and they're tip certified as well?
Yes, yes.
They are, okay. Any questions from the commissioners?
Is that
Uh,
1 to 2 besides you? In
Yeah.
addition to you? Okay, all right, okay.
Okay, any other questions? Okay,
Thank-
Mr. Mahid, do you understand that you will be responsible for anything that happens at the establishment, whether you are present or not?
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay, and you do understand that college students do get very creative with their IDs,
Yes.
okay?
Yep.
So when in doubt, you just don't sell.
Yeah, of course. Yep. That was strictly in the tips certification as well, plenty of times. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I went to college myself, and not that I did any of those things, but I do understand like the leaps and bounds that people go through to get to get what they want. But yeah, no, for sure. If there's any sort of hesitation or anything, and the workers know this too, that it's definitely just going to be a no-go. There's plenty other places if they can. Obviously, if it's legitimate, then they'll be able to attain what they need to, but not if we feel like there's any sort of problem.
Um, I did feel to ask, what is your experience as the manager of record for a licensed establishment?
So I don't have any, but I have been working with my father and uncle for a while, so I have been seeing how this all plays out.
Okay. Okay, any questions from the commissioners? No. Okay, can I make a motion to approve the petition for a change of manager from Majid Nisamdin to Mahid Ahmad, and change of hours of operations for Sunday only from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. to new hours being 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. for GEO 195 LLC. 195 Pine LLC DBA Summit Package Store located at 195 Pine Street. Majid Nisamdin, current manager of record.
Second,
Commissioner Kay,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
yes,
Commissioner D'Angelo Tonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Okay, the second petition is for a change of manager from Rizwan Rafdin to Majid Nisamdin, and change of hours of operation for Sunday only from 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. to new hours 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. for 60 Geo Hill LLC, DBA Merrill Superette, located at 62 High Street, Rizwan Rafdin, manager of record.
Commissioner, can I also just, I just had a question too about change of hours. So my understanding was that once we receive local approval, they are actually allowed to operate at that time prior to receiving approval from the ABCC. I just wanted to confirm that's true.
yes, I believe that's true.
Local. Change of hours is solely local.
Okay, great, thank you. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Dean, are you on here? I just want to make sure you're available. See him. I'm not sure who iPhone is. Anyway, so he should be getting on. Anyway, so this is obviously another related, establishment, so, Rizwan, the current manager record, is no longer in the picture here, so we are desired to transfer, to change the manager of record to Mahid Nizam Dean. And there's
Is
been
he
some
present?
issues.
Is he
Which-
present?
I can't tell if not, I can give him a call quick. It's all right if I give him a quick call.
Yes,
Yeah, why don't we pass this and come back to it though?
All right.
okay. Okay. Next item is in, informational hearing for United Auto Sales located at 874 Berkshire Avenue. Joseph Nigro, manager of record, and this is for a complaint. We did hear this last week. And we wanted the, complainant to be here today just to make sure that, the vehicle did pass inspection and that everything was, okay. Is there anybody here for United Auto or regarding the United Auto complaint? Okay.
I thought we were waiting to see if the complainant showed up again.
That's correct.
Right.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That is
Yeah,
yes.
correct.
and I know that Edna reached out to her.
Yeah.
So I would say at this point, we move, we continue it generally. I'd imagine she would be here if there was a concern.
I agree.
Okay,
I make a motion to continue this complaint generally. Do I hear a second?
Second.
okay. Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
No.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Okay,
Okay, so the
Um,
motion,
Attorney Goldstein, are you all set?
the motion does carry, but I made note that, Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Maria D.
listen, you know what, that's what I'm gonna say, Commissioner D.
Commissioner D,
That's fine. Mayor Sarno, after 45 years, still can't say my name, so.
I don't feel so bad then.
No, it's okay.
Okay,
Yeah, he
Attorney
should be
Goldstein,
hopping on right now.
Okay,
Sorry. Oh, here he is.
okay, Madam Chair, do you wanna revisit this one?
Hi, Dean.
so this is a petition for a change of manager from Rizwan Ravdeen to Majid Nisam Din, and also a change of hours of operation for Sunday only from 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. to new hours of 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. for 60 Geo Hill LLC DBA Merrill Superette located at 62 High Street. Rizwan Ravdeen is the current manager of record.
Right. Thank you again. And sorry about that. Thank you for waiting. Mahid Nizam Dean, right? So we propose for him to become the new manager of record. He was the previous manager of record at GEL 195 Pine LLC for a while. He has plenty of experience as manager of record. Some circumstances in the past year, it has just made more sense for him to serve as the manager of record at this location. And of course, understands the responsibility of being a manager of record, and you know how he's responsible for everything that occurs at the premises. And he looks forward to leading this store on a right path.
Okay. Mr. Majid? Can you tell me about your experience as a manager of record for a licensed establishment?
You're muted, Dean.
Sorry about that. Sorry for being late as well. Yes, I do have experience of serving liquors at the store for I think it's 12 years now, and I am currently manager of a Summit package store. So we last meeting we switched my managership to Merrill Super 8 on 60 Geo High LLC.
Okay. So you say you do have 12 years of experience. You're obviously tip certified.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how many employees will you be having here at Merle Superette?
I have one full-time employee and one part-time employee.
And are they both tip certified?
Yes, ma'am.
And are they both over 18 years old?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I believe you probably know why I'm asking that question, right?
Yes, I do. I do.
Okay.
I do.
Perfect.
I didn't knew that my son was underage, and I thought it's just a family business. So it was a good information for me too. I didn't knew that. I apologize for it.
Okay, so you can't, if they're not, just keep in mind that whoever is going to be selling alcohol, liquor, they have to be
Tip
tip
certified.
certified and they
Yes.
have to be old enough. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And you do understand that anything that happens at the store, whether you're there or not, you will be responsible. You would have to answer to the board.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Any questions from the commissioners?
I have one.
Okay.
Counselor, before you had to call this gentleman, you was ready to allude about some issue. Could you enlighten us on those issues that? Are you with me? There
Are you
you go.
speaking to me?
No,
No,
Attorney Goldstein.
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 Well, so Riswan just is parted ways and is no longer in the picture. And then as we were here, there was a complaint, and we were here in late December and for an allegation of receiving stolen property. So that's also why we want Dean at this location to make sure everything is being properly run there.
Okay, and that was corrected. Am I correct?
That was corrected.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. That's all.
Whose son was working at the store?
It was my son.
Your son, Mahit's.
Yeah.
All right. And is he over 18 yet?
No, he's gonna be over 18 in October.
Oh, okay. He's not one of these two employees, right?
No, he's not.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
he can't be. Really, honestly, I didn't knew that. I could not put him on the work if I knew that he couldn't be able to work until 18.
Now you know.
And I apologize for it.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question? No. Can I make a motion to approve the petition for a change of manager from Rizwan Rafdeen to Majid Nisam Din, and also the change of hours of operation for Sunday only from 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. to 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. for 60 Geo Hill LLC DBA Merrill Superette located at 62 High Street, Rizwan Rafdeen. Well, now it'll be Majid Nisam Din, the manager of record.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Okay,
Stop
thank
it.
you.
Who seconded
Good
that?
luck.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you so much.
Who
Who
seconded?
seconded that?
Who seconded the motion? I
Yes.
believe it was Peter.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Thank you. Have a good night. Good luck.
Thanks, you
Good night.
too.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. And no one's here still for United Auto?
I believe we heard that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Just double checking.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay, next is a pre-hearing conference for Mojitos Bar and Restaurant located at 497 Belmont Avenue. Jamie Romero Cedeno, Manager of Record. This is an incident of December 28th, 2023, January 4th, 2024, and January 10th, 2024. Manager of Record Jamie Romero Cedeno be charged with the following: violation of 204 CMR 2.05, 2 counts, to wit, 1, failure to call the police, and 2, allowing the use of smoking materials in violation of Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 270, Section 22.
Okay, if I can just speak briefly, and Attorney Bonavito, who's also on the call, if you would like to chime in, as well as Springfield Police Department. So I took a look at the reports from 12/28/23 and 1/4/2024, and I don't see violations, right? I think things probably could have happened differently, but I don't think it was the fault of the club. So I'm not sure why those were marked up as well for pre-hearing conference. Clearly the 10th, there appears to be violations. However, on 12/28/23 and 1/4/24, I don't see such, so.
See.
Very. You, why this made it, here? I don't think Barry can hear me. Okay,
I can hear you. I didn't hear your question. I mean, I didn't hear what you asked though.
well, I just wanted to know if there was, if you know, if the reason why, we're addressing December 28th and January 4th, like Attorney Days mentioned.
I'm not sure you guys voted to send that to a pre-hearing. We had recommended no violations for those 2 incidents. The only violations we had recommended were the 2 violations for the January 10th, 2024.
Okay. So should we, Attorney Days, should we change the wording on, this one here?
Can make a
I
motion.
suggest that you make a motion to
Take
not
no.
continue with 12/28, the alleged violations of 12/28/23 and 1/4/24.
Okay.
And just deal with the 1/10/2024. That would be my suggestion.
I make a motion to take no action on the incident reports of December 28th, 2023 and January 4th, 2024. Do I hear a second?
Second,
Commissioner Cade,
yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Okay, so, then we can move on to the, violation of January 10th, 2024, and that's allowing the use of smoking materials and failure to call the police, violation of, Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 270, Section 22.
I'm here for the petitioner. Mr. Ramish is on the phone as well.
Okay,
And
as
We're
I
willing,
also reviewed this, and I've talked to Mr. Kelly and Attorney Days.
Okay. And was there an agreement reached?
we're willing to stipulate to the violations and ask for 5 days, 3 to serve. This is their first violation and we hope it to be their last.
Okay.
Would the other two be suspended, Mr. Kelly?
Yes, that's what I meant, 5 days, 3 to serve, 2 to be suspended.
Thank you.
1 year.
I believe that's the standard.
Yep.
But
Yes,
it's your commission's pleasure, but I believe the standard is 1 year.
right. Any questions from the commission? Okay. No,
Sounds good to
okay,
me.
so, what would we be looking at, in terms of, the 3 days to be served?
March 7th,
Any
8th, and 9th.
suggestions?
What's that?
7th?
March 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Yes. That would be
and 9th. Okay,
7, 8,
Attorney
9.
Bonavita, will that give you time to write up the letters and get them to Attorney Kelly?
Yes. Yes, it will.
You could just give me the sign on my email. It's easier if I get it emailed so I can get it to the
Sure.
bar.
Yes.
No problem.
Oh, yes.
Just
And,
the sign
and
you
the
put up.
suspension sign.
That's what I mean. If it's easier if it's emailed, I can get it to them quicker.
I can do that tonight.
okay. Peter, is there a motion?
I make a motion that the license be suspended for 5 days, 3 to be served March 7th, 8th, and 9th. 2 days to be held in abeyance for 1 year with the suspension sign, which we will provide to Attorney Kelly, which must be hung on the door of the premises during the suspension. Do I hear a second?
Second,
Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Okay, thank you.
We hope we don't see you back here on this.
Right,
It's 2.
okay. Okay, the next item is under old business. That is a petition for a new annual wine and malt restaurant license for Blaze Restaurant Inc., DBA Island Blaze Restaurant located at 708 Main Street, Goosey Moore Wilson, manager of record, failed to notify abutters.
That's mine as well. You voted unanimously on this a couple meetings ago, I think 2 meetings ago. My office did not get the abutter notice done correctly pursuant to Mass General laws, and we have since corrected that and given it to your council attorney Bonavita.
That's correct, and everything was provided to the License Commission.
Any questions from the commissioners?
No.
No.
Okay, and this was just put on just in the event, of course. Any citizens wanted to appear. Or abutters wanted to appear, so we put it back on the.
Right.
The agenda for.
Okay.
I don't see any. I don't know who those two iPhone people are.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody here for Blaze Restaurant? Or any of the abutters, I should say? No.
The best new restaurant coming to downtown Springfield.
Definitely, I'm telling you, trust
Okay.
me,
We'll see.
trust me.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve the petition for a new annual wine and malt restaurant license for Blaze Restaurant Inc., DBA Island Blaze Restaurants located at 708 Main Street, Goosey Moore Wilson, manager of record.
Second.
Madam Chair, I don't think that we need to reapprove it. I think you.
Okay.
It, actually for old business, number 1 and number 2, I believe they were previously
Approved,
approved, yeah.
okay. Okay.
So
Great,
now
well,
Attorney Bonavita has represented that the notices have been received and the butters have been notified. I
perfect.
don't think we need to take a vote on.
We don't have to take any action at all. Just
No,
ask for abutters.
I'm sorry,
We just ask for abutters, and if there aren't any, we move on.
yes.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Good to know. Okay, so, second old business is a petition for a change of manager, change of officers, directors, LLC managers, alteration of licensed premises, issuance, transfer. of stock, new stockholder, change of hours, change of DBA for Boulevard Tavern Inc., DBA The Boulevard Tavern and Grill, located at 664-666 Page Boulevard, manager of record. And this was also failed to notify the abutters, but Attorney Bonavita has the information already.
I did pass that in, or email it.
Okay.
Yes, and it was provided.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much.
And there's nobody here? No butters here? No. So, yeah,
Have you eaten there, Peter, since they've done they've done the menu over?
I have not yet.
Try it.
The
Hamburgers.
second best restaurant in Springfield.
You ate about Blaze, you ate. That guy, I'm telling you, he's gonna be a success.
Okay, we'll see.
Have a good night.
Okay. Thank you. Good night. Next item is Palate Inc., DBA Palate at 8 Tembe Road, Jose Hernandez, manager of record, and this is for letting La Taqueria del Pueblo Bar and Restaurant operate and purchase liquor with Palate's liquor license. Mr. Hernandez?
So
How are you?
Attorney Bonavita, do you want me to lead this one or?
I can chime in whenever you want me to. I reviewed, obviously the committee didn't get the package, but I assume that you're aware that there was a purchase and sales agreement executed back in June of last year, where the business was essentially sold for $289,000 and down payment of $150,000. There was an offer fee, business loan, so it was all done without any type of change or transfer of the license. It included the business. The form doesn't say anything about the license, but obviously it will, I think it's obvious it was included because he's been operating the business there. He did turn in the license, I think, yesterday. Mr. Hernandez, I believe it is, turned in the license
About a week
yesterday.
ago.
What was that?
I think it was about a week ago.
About a week ago? Okay. The license was turned in to the license commission. So I don't know what the commission's pleasure is, but for liability's sake, if you allow the business to keep operating, somebody happens to sell alcohol, somebody gets in an accident, something happens, and you don't take action tonight, I think the city could be brought into a lawsuit. So I would suggest revoking the license. Has been turned in anyway, and having the new owner, the old owner, do the proper transfer of license, and then it can be handled in that way.
Is La Taqueria here? This meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
You
He's
are.
present. Yeah, he's
Mr.
present.
Hernandez?
I
Here.
think that is and Mr. Hernandez is present as well. I think that is a great overview. Thank you, Attorney Bonavita. What I want to point out, because I think it's important, is that the owner of La Taqueria went in there probably June or July. And he used the license of Palate to purchase alcohol, right? In addition to that, by November, Mr. Hernandez came in and represented and renewed his license under Palate, which was clearly no longer in existence. And as such, and I communicated this to Mr. Hernandez, I communicated this to Mr. Knight. I'm sorry that you don't have the packets, because I think it really would be quite interesting and revealing if you could see these documents. But Mr. Vasquez Morales, what I've communicated to him, I met with both of them, is that A, the establishment should be closed down, because clearly the previous person and who represented that they were still had custody and control or was in this restaurant every day that was no longer the case. And in addition, I would suggest, and it's not necessarily before the board, but I think it's important to point out the amount of money that Mr. Vasquez paid as a result of I would suggest an illegal transfer of this license. So with that being said, and again, it's true, as Attorney Bonavita points out, that Mr. Hernandez did come in, he surrendered the license. And I would also note that I reached out to the landlord, just with respect to trying to ascertain whether or not there was some sort of sublease or what was happening, and the response was no, that there hadn't been a sublease assigned to Mr. Vasquez.
So who was paying the rent?
Mr. Vasquez was paying Mr. Hernandez.
Oh my God. So if we revoke this license, then Mr. Vasquez has to start from square one by applying for a new license. There's no license to transfer if we revoke it, right?
That's correct.
So,
And I would suggest that a transfer is not appropriate, considering that this license candidly has really been used in bad faith, at least for the last 6 or 7 months.
do you feel that there's bad faith on both parties?
No,
No,
but Mr. Hernandez, if you'd like to be heard on that, I welcome.
If
the
it's
opportunity
possible,
to speak.
yeah. There was a few we was in the process of transferring everything, and doing everything. He just was he had a little bit of difficulty when in the first few months. And it's kind of difficult in the first few months to pay rent and all this stuff. And he was having a little bit of difficulty getting some funds from somebody that owed them. And I told him, let's just open under me. I had everything under my name, and we could start getting some funds through here. And when we get everything together, you could transfer everything under your name. I didn't see nothing wrong with it, and I apologize. I did keep the licenses under my name, everything under my name. I was actually, he was sending me the orders, which I have the text of the liquor orders, and I was buying the liquor. Actually, I was still involved, you know.
You're breaking up, Mr. Hernandez. Are you still there?
Apologize. Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So, I was, he got into that situation, and I try to help him out as much as we can so he could, get everything together. We was already in the process of getting the lease to him. The owner already knew that he was there. We was just trying to get everything together so he could have his deposit and everything and transfer the lease, which it was hopefully gonna be done by the end of this month, with a little bit of help of Valentine's being there and those 2 weekends and it being in between. I think we was almost on the other side when this happened. As soon as you guys called me from the city hall and she said, "Hey, you're not supposed to do this," I was like, okay, I'm not supposed to do this. The very next day in the morning, I went down and I gave him my license, and I just did that because, I've been there for 8 years. I had no issues ever, no police call, nobody getting shot, nothing. I ran a clean business, and I still feel like I ran a clean business. I just made a mistake. I didn't know that was against the rules, but they told this. So, I'm about, but honestly,
Alicia, did you say you contacted the landlord and they had no idea that La Taqueria was there now?
Yes, he also reported that, he had been trying to work with Mr. Hernandez because the rent was behind, or there were things that were owed.
There was a few things, yes, that are old from before, and I was waiting to do. The thing is that he also owes me some money for some maintenance, so we was putting all the paperwork together, so like that we could deduct what I owe him and what he owes me, and we've been going back and forth, and you could actually call him and make sure about that because we have to get together. But you know, he also has some of my deposit for first month security and all that as well. So I was kind of waiting for it now when he got the money to put together for him to get his lease, you know, to go with him, go over everything, deduct everything that he owes me as well. So like that, I could give him the remainder and he could give Lewis his lease.
I think all that is understandable, but I find it highly disrespectful to this board that you actually came to this meeting back in November and you blatantly lied to us, because I remember one of the questions were, did you sell? Because we had that information that you
But
had
the
sold, and you said,
and
no, I did not. They are using the kitchen. Something can be quote unquote,
no,
but
and
something to that effect. You said you were still there, Pilates was still there, the taqueria was using your kitchen. It was almost like a menu change.
it was a menu change. The as you could see, the sale was not completely final because he had to put the lease under his name, so he could get the license. So it was still everything under me right now, and the only thing that was changed was pretty much the menu. And he, you know, he was gonna go in and start working, like you know, to make sure and check everything out and do everything. But honestly, everything was still under my name. They still haven't, we did not finish going and finishing all the process because he still hasn't got the lease. And we all know without the lease, he can't get the liquor license. So
Okay,
we
you know,
decided to do it that way for the time
I'm gonna
being.
let you talk for 30 more seconds. Go ahead, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Hernandez, do you have more to say?
You need it for? That's
I think he's done.
He's
Yeah.
done, okay, then it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so you asked me a question earlier whether or not I thought there was fault on both parts. And what I will tell you after speaking to both of them, I don't believe that was the case. What I believed happened was that this young man who I would suggest has very limited English skills, very little understanding of how things work, that his belief that he was going to come in there and he was purchasing the business. Now, there was a representation by Mr. Hernandez that in fact he was selling the goodwill of the business, that Pilates was going to remain, and this young man was going to come in and purchase the goodwill of the business. Well, the facts don't suggest that that is the case. Why? Because Mr. Vasquez, as soon as he got in there, went to the Secretary of State to change the business or to establish a business under his name, not Pilates. He believed that he was starting La Taqueria. Now, what I do know is that Mr. Vasquez represents that was his understanding when he came there, that in fact the licenses, I don't think he fully understood that he could actually, or not him, because he's got a complication where he can't come in, but he has a partner who could come in and really get their own license, right? Without the benefit of entering into some agreement where there was going to be over $150,000 involved. I don't think he understood that. What I do think, Mr. Hernandez, is that for whatever reason, let's assume that as of July, you didn't fully understand, but at the point that you came and renewed that license, you knew that you had not been actively, similar to where you had been 8 years before, involved in this business.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I understand that. I
All right.
understand that. I have never say anything against that. That was my mistake.
Well,
And
I'll be honest with you, I don't know if it was a mistake or a hustle. I really don't.
no, it's
And
not
I
a
think
hustle, man.
at the point that you came back in here in November and you
Ma'am.
renewed the license, where basically, for all intents and purposes, you crippled yourself in terms of if there had been, so La Taqueria is now going to the wholesaler with your license, get a liquor, or you're ordering it. If there was accident that occurred there, if there was over service that was there, you in
No,
essence are gonna be.
I get exactly, but
Okay,
I get what you're saying, but it would, I had insurance. I didn't know that he had to have insurance too under his name because it was still everything under my name. So I did have insurance, but please don't, I was not trying to hustle nobody. Honestly, I was trying to help this guy as much as possible so he could get out of the hole, so he could get everything together and put everything under his name. I wanted everything under his name as bad as anybody else because I mean, it was still under my name and it was time for him to move on and put it under his name. He just had some difficulties doing the way. And I didn't think I was doing nothing wrong, but obviously I was. Now, when it comes to everything else I did it that place, I had to rebuild that place completely. I had to put new furniture and new tiles and everything. When I first opened that place, I myself put over on myself without the purchase of the place over $100,000.
Excuse me one second, Mr. Vasquez, tú tienes un persona contigo que habla inglés.
Hello.
Tú no tienes una persona con quién. Contigo.
Lo que habla inglés.
No, en el momento. Creo que está el otro muchacho ahí también.
¿Qué otro muchacho?
Sí, creo que él está conectado también. Yo creo que él entiende bien perfectamente lo del inglés.
¿Quién es la otra persona? Who's the other person that's here with Mr. Vasquez?
I guess it's me he's talking about. I don't know if he has anybody else.
¿Tú estás hablando del previo dueño?
No, del otro muchacho también se llama Luis, que creo que está conectado también en la ahorita.
Okay, I don't know.
¿Hay un Luis aquí? Is there a Louis here? Whose iPhone? Sir, your name?
I think he's trying to connect. He's trying to unmute.
Okay. ¿Es que esta es la persona, señor Vázquez?
¿Perdón?
Esa otra persona, ¿usted puede ver todas las personas que están aquí en esta reunión?
Sí, es la otra persona, creo que está conectado con el que dice iPhone. Pero no
que
creo
dice
que.
iPhone.
Ajá, pero no sé si pueda escucharlo.
He believes the person that is with him is this Louis person is the one on the iPhone, but he doesn't think the person can hear us.
Okay, so again, Mr. Vasquez is at a disadvantage because he's not even understanding what's being said.
Correct.
But notwithstanding that, so I guess the central issue, if we cut to the chase, is whether or not the license commission, it has been surrendered. Mr. Hernandez did drop it off to my office last week, whether or not the commission wants to make a decision with respect to this license and it's staying in my office until such time that Mr. Vasquez can work out his issues and apply on his own. I would suggest that Palade, I'm sorry, Mr. Hernandez, I know I always
It's
mess
not a
it up,
problem.
but
They say it both ways.
that clearly they have not had been in full custody and control of this liquor license or this restaurant. And I think that that was a misrepresentation. And candidly, I think that, there shouldn't be a license issued there at this time until such time, like I said, we can clarify and understand who is in there and who is running it, and in the interim for Mr. Vasquez to seek a license on his own. That won't cost him over $100,000.
Has he made a financial outlay already?
Yes.
Do you know how much?
Or Rosa, can you, I'll let you be the translator. Can you ask Mr. Vasquez, because I've already spoken to him, can you ask him how much he's paid already?
Señor Vázquez, ¿cuánto dinero ya usted ha pagado hasta el día de hoy?
¿De qué es? Digamos, de cuál cantidad o de cuál medicina?
¿Cómo ha sido? ¿Qué has pagado y cuánto dinero has puesto en este lugar?
No sé, quizás unos 200, diría yo, con lo demás que invertí al principio también, que tuve que comprar nuevas cosas que tenía que usar con empecé.
¿Como 200,000?
Sí,
Eso es lo que dice, about $200,000.
He's already paid?
Yes, he
No,
did
he
have to.
invested
He invested.
No,
some
how much is
parts
he
of it.
paid?
¿Cuánto pagaste? No cuánto invertiste. ¿Cuánto dinero tú pagaste hasta el día de hoy?
yo creo que van como 100, no estoy tan seguro, como 130,000 o 140.
Somewhere between 130,000 to 140,000.
Oh my goodness, he's already paid.
Ya es lo que has pagado, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
So if we revoke this license, this, and Mr. Vasquez has to start all over, he is out $130,000. And he would have to sue Mr. Hernandez for reimbursement. Am I interpreting that correctly?
Yes.
I would agree.
Oh, what if we were to suspend this license? We're already in possession of it until they get an attorney, which they should have in the first place, and finalize this transfer to Mr. Vasquez and allow him to operate there as a common vic until the liquor license has been transferred and approved to him. That way he wouldn't be out what he's already paid.
Yeah, that would be probably a good suggestion, but I don't trust that at the end of this, given honestly, Mr. Hernandez, kind of your actions, I don't know that it will result in a transfer. How do we make sure that happens? By Mr. Hernandez's representation of what he's gonna do or what he's willing to do in terms of transfer? Is that what we're basing it on?
If you give me the chance, you know, I already had talked to the landlord, I talked to lawyers, I talked to the lawyers. Everything seems like we could do the lease under his name as soon as possible. I'm most likely meeting with the landlord already next week because I have all the paperwork for him with the other regards. So like that, I could pay him whatever it is that I owe him, and he could give Louis the new lease. It's not gonna be a problem for him to get the new lease, and then from there he could go and transfer the license. That was, I mean, and I don't, you know, there was a lot of stuff there. It's not just a license. About, you know, that place is 4,000 square foot. In order to put that restaurant the way it is right now and pay for everything that's been done in there right now, that restaurant to be put that way, the way it is, it'll cost over $200,000. I mean, the furniture's not cheap. I ended up buying furniture there that the same people who buy the furniture in Plan B.
How much longer is it? Do you have an attorney?
You asking Mr. Hernandez? Okay. Mr. Hernandez, do you have an attorney?
Yeah, I actually had the meeting with him today. And Louis has an attorney which already called me as well. So everything is like in the process right now.
Who
Can
is
we
your
ask-
attorney?
I'm sorry,
Huh?
can we ask, Mr. Vasquez who his attorney is? Has he contacted?
Señor Vázquez, ¿usted tiene un abogado?
Sí,
¿Quién es su abogado?
déjame buscar el nombre aquí que no me acuerdo bien.
He's looking up the name.
The other, if I may say one thing, I know I recommended a revocation because I was concerned about liability. And a suspension is a reasonable act under the circumstances, but as Attorney Days stated, I don't know if Mr. Vasquez understands, and you'd have to interpret for him at this point, that he cannot sell alcohol. The license has been turned in. He cannot
Oh yeah,
sell
no, it's
alcohol.
closed right now. It's closed right now until it's not.
Señor Vázquez, estábamos hablando sobre una suspensión, ¿verdad?
Ujú.
En vez de revocar la licencia por completo.
Ok.
Tratando de ayudarle a usted, ¿no? So, usted entiende que si nosotros fuéramos a suspender la licencia de alcohol
Ujú.
y se le da la oportunidad a usted de vender comida solamente, que usted va a vender comida solamente y no alcohol hasta que tenga la licencia a su nombre.
Sí, yo puedo hacer eso, perfecto, porque lo que ahorita, pues lo que estoy prácticamente perdiendo, porque igual voy a seguir pagando, digamos, los biles y todo eso. So, ahorita no estoy haciendo nada, tampoco, o sea, no estamos abriendo todavía desde el 14 que cerramos, o no, ahorita no he hecho nada. So, sí, me interesa también empezar por algo también.
So they've been closed since the 14th. He would love to get back in there and just sell food only. He does understand that he cannot sell any alcohol until the license is under his name.
Where is the alcohol now?
¿Dónde está el alcohol en estos momentos?
Ahorita yo no lo he movido de ahí, pero tengo que sacarlo. Si eso es lo que me habían comentado, que tengo que sacarlo todo. Yo no, por eso no hay problema, yo lo puedo mover de ahí. O sea, puedo sacar todo.
It's still sitting at the restaurant, at the establishment.
Technically, it should be removed from the premises and at the very least locked up in a storage room somewhere.
Right, so he did say that someone did inform him of that he has to remove it, and he is willing to go and do that. Señor Vázquez, ¿encontró el nombre de su abogado?
Sí, se llama Van, algo así.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Van Johnson.
Ben Johnson,
Okay,
attorney.
great.
Okay, gracias.
Jose, who is your attorney?
Bruno, Miss Bruno, lawyer, Holyoke.
Oh,
It used to be Harold Bruno, but Harold passed
Yep.
away. His daughter's there now.
okay.
Okay.
And they're drawing up transfer applications for you right now as we speak.
Well, I had a meeting with her today. Yes. And with my lawyer, he already had a meeting with his lawyer, but the landlord knows about the lease. He'll do that as soon as we're ready. So
Well, if Mr. Vasquez is not able to work and sell food, he's not going to be able to afford any payments to anyone. And
exactly.
it appears that he is at a severe disadvantage here. And Alicia has spoken to him and is, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Alicia, but he is a fairly innocent party, naive person perhaps in this transaction. And I don't want to see him punished by this ridiculous 21 years on this commission. I can't remember. This ranks up there in the top 10 of wacko things that have happened. Is that do we give them a deadline? It has to be done by this day or the license will be revoked to put a fire underneath their feet?
I think that, and I think that this should likely be tabled if you're looking to transfer, so Mr. Vasquez can have someone who can translate fully for him. I know that I spoke, or I believe Edna spoke to him, and we advised him that he should have someone here. So the crux of it is this, right? And I'll tell you what my concern is. My concern is Mr. Vasquez didn't necessarily need Mr. Hernandez, right?
Yep.
Okay, because he could have basically gone to this landlord and said, okay, well, I'd like to rent it because Mr. Hernandez is no longer here. That didn't happen, right? The liquor license, the whole issue with the liquor license, a transfer really could have occurred last July, August, or at least the beginning of at least submitting applications. It's March. So, again, I'm going to, I don't represent Mr. Vasquez and I don't represent Mr. Hernandez, but what I can tell you is that by looking at these contracts that were written, and I would just note in English, that are replete with typographical errors and things that don't make sense, and Mr. Vasquez signed it. That I don't know, again, just given the facts and the evidence, I don't know that Mr. Hernandez ever planned on transferring it.
Oh,
Because it wasn't as though, wait, Mr. Hernandez, it wasn't as though you came into the license commission to start a process or do a process. It wasn't how this first came to light was back in November or October. Mr. Vasquez asked Health to come in and inspect. And Health, when they came in to inspect, noticed that all of the licenses were in Pallett's name. So, if anything, I think just so Mr. Vasquez is adequately understands what's going on, that at the very least, it should be continued until such time he can bring someone that can translate for him.
Can we issue him a common vic so he can open and start serving food?
We've talked to him about that, right? But he has to get custody and control over that, over the property. He doesn't have a lease. He doesn't have anything.
Right.
And he hasn't had anything.
Okay, so Attorney Days, so once he has the lease, then he can apply for common vic.
Yes, and I've shared that with him, with Mr. Vasquez.
Okay, can I just explain it again to him?
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
Señor Vázquez, sabe que hablamos anteriormente que si se le da la oportunidad de vender por lo menos, para que así por lo menos pueda abrir la puerta, ¿no? Lo que estamos hablando ahora es de si poderle dar la licencia para que usted pueda vender por lo menos comida, pero no podemos hacer eso hasta que usted tenga el contrato de la propiedad a nombre de usted. Okay. So tienes que hacer el contrato de la renta. Después que tú tengas un contrato, el lease, entonces puedes aplicar para vender comida en tu restaurante sin alcohol.
Ok.
¿Entendiste
Sí,
esa
puedo
parte?
hacer eso.
Ok. So
Sí.
tienes que hablar con tu abogado. Nosotros lo que estamos pensando es continuar esto, ¿verdad? So tienes que hablar con tu abogado para que avancen y hagan los papeles con el dueño de la propiedad, ponerlo a nombre tuyo para entonces hacer los papeles para tener la licencia de vender comida. ¿Ok?
Ok, sí está bien. Pues yo mañana puedo
¿Entiendes
hablar.
eso? Okay. So he will speak to his attorney tomorrow. And he is going to meet with the landlord once he has the paperwork, the lease under his name, then he can apply for the common vic. So he will speak to his attorney tomorrow in regards to applying for a common vic.
Okay, so he doesn't have to wait until whenever we're gonna continue this item to apply for the common vic. Is that correct, Alicia? As long as he has a lease?
That's nonsense.
Attorney Days?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to do two things. Can you say that again?
That we're gonna continue this item until Mr. Vasquez is represented by someone who can represent him in English and Spanish, correct?
Correct. That would be
And,
my suggestion.
but if he manages to negotiate a lease with the landlord, as soon as he has that in place, he can come in for his common vic and at least start serving food again?
Absolutely.
Perfect, okay.
No tienes que esperar, señor Vázquez, no tienes
Yeah.
que esperar a la próxima reunión de nosotros para poder abrir. Tan pronto tengas el contrato, aplicas para la licencia de comida y puedes abrir la puerta para comida solamente. Luego, cuando vengas donde nosotros, es porque vamos a hablar sobre la licencia de alcohol.
Ok, sí, está bien, perfecto.
Y me tiene que hacer otro favor, tiene que sacar todo el alcohol que está en el restaurante y ponerlo en otro lugar bajo llave.
Ok,
Okay? So I did explain that to him, and I also told him that he does have to remove the alcohol and make sure that it's safe under lock and key someplace else.
Can we have him tell his lawyer to contact the license commission so we can verify that he understands everything and that things are getting done as far as locking up the alcohol? I still have concerns about liability. And I'm just wondering if we could get a verification from his attorney that he's representing him, he understands what's going on as far as whether it's a continuance to another date, and he cannot sell alcohol from that location. And also, Mr. Hernandez cannot sell alcohol from that location. Obviously, we know the license now has been turned in, but
And yeah, it's been closed since as soon as she told me, I told Louis what was going on. I gave the license in, and we both decided that it was gonna be closed into everything that's done correctly.
I'm more concerned about Mr. Vasquez because of the language issue, and because of the way this was put together. I'm not sure he really understood some of the things, and I'd like to see his attorney at least contact us so we could have some verification.
Señor Vázquez, so el abogado Bonavira se quiere asegurar que por favor, si usted le puede decir a su abogado mañana que por favor se comunique con la oficina de nosotros para ellos quieren asegurarse que usted entiende todo lo que hablamos hoy, que entiendes que el alcohol no puede estar en el lugar, hay que sacarlo, que entiendes todo lo que te estamos diciendo en cuanto que puede vender la comida, pero no sin el alcohol, y que tienen que tener todos los papeles correctos, el contrato, todo correcto, tiene que buscar la licencia. So, el abogado Bonavira se quiere asegurar que su abogado entiende que usted entiende cuál es el arreglo que hemos hecho en esta noche. So,
Ok,
si le
perfecto.
puede decir a su abogado que se comunique con la oficina tan pronto posible.
Ok, está bien. So yo mañana le digo a que se comunique con ustedes o así ya yo quedo bien.
Okay, so he is going to meet with his attorney tomorrow, and he will have his attorney give the license office a call, to make sure that I explained to him that your concern or our concern that we just want to make sure that he understands exactly what it is that he has to do or should
Thank
be
you.
doing. You're welcome. Okay. So
So we're gonna continue this?
Yes.
Do you think March 10th will give them time to get these applications done, or should it be March 27th?
I think March 27th for the sake of making sure that everything is done properly, knowing that he will be able to apply for a common vic before then. But that's my suggestion.
March 13th. All right, so, all right, I make a motion to continue this item to March what did we say? 27th?
27th.
Do I hear a second?
Second,
Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. If I may, I'm just gonna explain to Mr. Vasquez. So, señor Vasquez, so hemos continuado esta plática hasta el día 27 de marzo.
Ok.
Ok, pero sabe que eso es para continuar esta plática. Todavía puedes hacer los papeles y buscar la licencia para abrir con comida solamente.
Ok, está bien, no hay problema. Hago-
Ok, ok, buenas noches. Ok, he's aware.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay, next item on the agenda is Key Cahoot LLC DBA Loophole Brewing at 5159 Taylor Street, Jeffrey Goulet, manager of record. First floor not finished, no certificate of occupancy issued for intended use, which is a brewery. Anybody here for Loophole?
I believe there was a request for a continuance, and again, Edna's been out.
Oh.
She's,
Okay.
I believe though, she told me that this was gonna be continued, there was a request for a continuance. So
Is it for
I,
the next meeting?
yes, please, Madam Chair.
Okay,
March
okay. So
13th.
I make a motion to continue the Key Cahoot LLC, DBA Loophole Brewing at 5159 Taylor Street, Jeffrey Goulet, manager of record. First floor not finished, no certificate of occupancy issued for intended use of brewery to our next March 13th, 2024 meeting.
Second.
Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. And I think this is all for today, but I just wanted to thank everyone for bearing with me last meeting. That
Yeah.
COVID just had me
Oh,
sick,
no.
really, really sick. But I'm not 100% yet, but I'm getting there. I had an appointment today, listened to my lungs and stuff, so I'm getting a little bit better. So, well, I would say much better. So thank you everyone for checking in and checking up on me, making sure I was okay.
Did you watch the video on Focus Springfield? Of you?
No,
No,
I
you
did
gotta see it.
not. Oh.
Must see
look-
TV.
I was running a fever. I was so sick. I couldn't say more than 3 words without coughing my lungs out. But I'm better. So
Good.
Great
yeah,
news.
so thank you very much.
Glad
And,
you feel much better.
Thanks.
We were actually, gonna double the salary, your salary to Mr. Cade if he had to continue on. We're gonna double the salary.
Double my salary, huh? Okay. Well,
Okay.
good night, everyone. I guess we can adjourn, make a motion to adjourn at 6:46.
Second.
Commissioner Kane,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Thank you, and
Thank
good
you,
night,
guys.
everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Take
Good
care.
night.